Happy Monday, 1% movement. Hope you guys are doing well. See, we got some smiling faces on here. We're going to go ahead and get tonight's call kicked off and started. And for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Jewkes, and I'm excited to be able to have the opportunity to host tonight's call. Congratulations for making the first call of the 4-hour work week. It's so important. I believe we launched this system about 3 months ago, about 90 days or so ago. And it's cool to see we have some familiar faces on here. We've got some people that have been on here throughout the duration of that 90 days. We've got people like Ben. We got people like Joe. We got people like Ash. We got people like Nate. We got people like Jackson. We've got, obviously some other people on here as well, too, who've been here for the duration of launching this. And then we got some other people who are new. You guys have been on here a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it may be. And I just want to say thank you, and I also want to say welcome to our Monday motivation call. And so, tonight, guys, the person who's going to be doing the majority of the bulk tonight is going to be hopping on here in a little bit. But I want to share just a couple of thoughts, a couple of insights with you guys. And I've been blessed enough to have some awesome mentorship over the past few weeks, really over the past few years. But I was able to go to a service, and it was led by a guy named Montel Jordan. And if you guys don't know who Montel Jordan is, then you 100% know some of the songs like This Is How We Do It from the 90s and early 2000s that he is famous for. Montel Jordan sold multiple platinum records and albums. He had the #1 hottest song in the United States of America for over 16 months. Just an absolute superstar recording artist, and he's actually now a spiritual life coach, preacher, public speaker, and a business consultant. And has stepped away mostly from the music game in order to follow his true passion of the platform that he's been given. And he guest spoke at a service I went to a few weeks ago, and he talked about some very powerful things I just want to share with you over the next 60 to 120 seconds. And what he says, he talked about this idea, you should write this down, called faithful attraction. Faithful attraction. Now, whatever you believe spiritually or not is completely irrelevant to this life physical principle. You can either believe in fear or you can have faith. And the faith is the evidence of something not yet seen, right? So you don't know yet the outcome. And you can either have the belief that it's going to work out in your favor, or you can have the fear that it's not going to work out in your favor. And so what he talks about is how you appear on the outside is just a direct reflection of how you feel on the inside, meaning how you're perceived externally is actually how you feel internally. And the reason why I bring something like this up, some people are like confused. They don't know why this even makes sense. The reason why this is relevant is if you're in iMarkets Live, you're in a business that's called attraction marketing. If you have ever enrolled a customer, just one customer, 2, 5, 10, 30, have a team of 100, whatever it may be, they could have got started in any organization. They could have got started in any company. They could have got started with any other human. Over almost now 8 billion people they could have decided to partner with, their goals and dreams, and they chose you. They chose your team. They chose you. They chose this company, this opportunity. And that has to do with faithful attraction. And so understand that how you feel internally is a direct reflection to how other people treat you and how you're perceived. And so what I want to just, simply challenge you to consider tonight is, how do you feel? Something I talk about constantly. If you know me, if you plug into my YouTube or social media, or we're friends, I talk about this concept of feel good now. I am so happy and grateful that I feel good now, and I'm continuing to feel better. And people think it's corny and people think it's cheesy, but you know what? Getting rich isn't corny. Helping millions of people is not cheesy. And I'm telling you right now, it's the real deal. It's the stuff. I was on the phone today with Matt Rosa and Jason Brown in Mykonos. They have their own private villa on this island out in Europe. Okay, what were they doing? What were they talking about? How they feel, right? And how they've continued to dream about these different kinds of things. What did Alex talk about in last night's call? Guys, this is the real deal stuff. And so understand how you feel internally is how you're going to be perceived externally. And that's most importantly, who you're going to attract in your business. People can be drawn through faith appeal. It's ancient time stuff that can be directly applied through social media. And so guys, with that being said, I'm just excited to be able to have the opportunity to host tonight's call and to really just introduce this next person who's really going to take it away. Understand that how you feel is so unbelievably important. People don't value that enough. Take care of your health, take care of your wealth. And when you plug in to calls like this, you feel good. You feel really freaking good. I was watching America's Got Talent last night for the first time in like years. And one of the things that was said is this guy was asked, why do you sing? He was like amazing, like rock star, just crushed it. He was like 25 years old. And he goes, for the last 120 seconds, everyone in this entire building forgot about all the negative shit in their life. That's why I love to sing. And I thought that was so dope because that's why I love these calls. For the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it doesn't matter about the bills that are due, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the exes, the family situations, the financial crisis. Like that stuff is completely irrelevant. If you can just turn off your phone, or unless you're using it, all right, turn off your computer unless you're using it, set down the devices, and trust me, you're going to want to give this next person your complete undivided attention. I promise you, every week I bring the best of the best. I bring Christopher Derrick, Luke Longmire, Jason Brown, Matthew Rosa, Alex Mort. I can continue to go on and on and on about the value that I'm trying to provide to all of you. And with that said, the next person is someone I've been friends with now almost 5 years. I've known this individual, someone that has been through a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, has not seen that much success in the industry until they planted their roots with iMarkets Live and went 100% all in. And him and I had a massive conversation that led me to making the decision to even be a customer in IML. My success 100% played a role in whether I even decided to do this, which is now turned into this beautiful organization just by one decision. And so please listen to our upline, our chairman, someone who's a friend of mine, but most importantly, guys, someone who has the results that you want and is going to give it to you real, raw, uncut, no BS, behind the scenes. What does it take to build a six-figure income in iMarkets Live? So with that said, Mr. Mike Sotero, you on, brother?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, Mr. Jewkes?
Loud and clear, homie. Take it away.
All right. It's like I'm on Instagram Live. I'm promoting you. I was trying to buy some Bitcoin right now on Coinbase to fund another account tonight. So many great things are happening. You got to love momentum. 13 months ago, I said yes. I did not know really what I said yes to. I did not think me and Christian Jewkes would be working together, but it's crazy how life works. So first off, guys, I appreciate your guys' time. We're only going to be here for 4 or 5 hours. No, I'm just kidding. David Imanite always does that. No, we'll be here for 2 or 3 hours. No, I'm just kidding. So I got started 13 months ago. For those of you that do not know my story, Mr. Jason Brown was doing back at LA Fitness. I walked past him. I said, hey, I know you. He said, hey, I remember you from our first company. And history was made at LA Fitness. So if you want to find your next chairman, you need to get an LA Fitness gym membership right away. No, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, tonight, I hope to provide some value to you guys. I want to go over the 3 E's that I teach, in a lot of different trainings I've done all around the world. I've been to almost probably 12 countries in the past 5 years through this business, through this industry that some people are still skeptical about. It's like, we're not going to go there tonight. So here are the 3 E's that I want to share with you guys tonight that have helped me, attract the right people, but also detract the wrong people. And I'll get into that in a second, but I'm going to give them to you first, and then we'll dive into it. So the 3 E's, first one, Jewkes was talking about it, energy. Second one, I'm going to talk about exposure. So I'm going to talk about 1, E, energy, 2, exposures, and 3, events. One of them has something to do with you, and then the other 2 have everything to do with how your energy is. So I remember getting started in the industry. My mentor sent me a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Business of the 21st Century. I was in English class senior year of high school, and my teacher is sitting there teaching English, and I'm sitting there reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm reading Business of the 21st Century. I read both of those books each in 1 day. In 2 days, both books were done, and my mindset switched. And I remember going to a few Tony Robbins events at UPW Dallas 2014. I was making money, in the game, I was doing well. But one thing that was holding me back was my energy. What was my energy? Is I realized that I was a shy person. Drop the number 1 if anybody's ever told you that, hey, you're shy. Or hey, you're you're doing that thing, man. Or somebody's ever told you, hey, I can't do that because I'm shy. Drop the number 1 in the chat box if somebody's ever told you that. I was that person that just, was getting by. I had a lot of friends, but I wasn't the outgoing person. And after that event, 2014, I said, damn, I need to focus and I need to control my energy. When I get around somebody, even if it's somebody on my team, I'm going to be very honest tonight. If I get around somebody on my team or somebody calls me and says, Mike, I got blah, 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 blah going on, and it's negative, 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 negative. I say, sir, ma'am, Johnny, Sally, you're focusing on the problem instead of looking for a solution. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. So what you're seeking in your life is also seeking you. I want you to understand that tonight. What you're looking for is also looking for you. So if you're looking to go Chairman 10, guess what? It's looking for you. But one thing that you have to be aware of is not only your energy. You have to control that, but you have to be aware of the energy around you. That's why you hear all these quotes, birds of a feather flock together, the average of 5 people, right? All these cliche sayings, but it's the truth. And it's not because, okay, look, if you're around 4 people that have bad energy, and you're the person that comes into that circle with good energy, you'll influence one, and then 2 will influence another, and then eventually the circle will change, or people will leave the circle. And sometimes in your life, to get to the next level in your life, you're going to have to leave a circle. You're going to have to move on. T.D. Jakes says this. He said, if somebody can walk away from you, let them walk. If somebody has the ability to say, hey, Jewkes, I don't want to hang out with you, let them walk. Write this down. Write this down. I'm going to type it here so you can copy it. My mentor said, don't convince anybody to join, right? Don't convince, and I don't convince people to do this. I'm on Instagram Live right now. I'm not going to convince any of you watching right now to do what I do. It doesn't matter. Don't convince anyone. This is the most important part, guys. But don't let them convince you not to do this. You ever enroll somebody? You ever add a new customer to your team and then they go in witness protection? They got convinced. They got convinced. They went home and talked to mom. Mom said it wasn't a good idea. They went to their barber shop. Their barber said it was a bad idea. You do not need to convince your friends to do this, but you cannot let them convince you not to do this, right? Reasons come before results. The stronger the why. You hear those things, and those are the things that push you during those times when people try to convince you. So number 1, I went off topic. It's okay. Number 1 is you have to protect your energy. And this is, you might have heard this before, but this business, you know why I go to every event that I qualify for? Because it's the campfire. I wasn't speaking at ANMP, but obviously I'm going to go and learn from those people. Even if you're not speaking at an event, even if you're not hosting the event, you need to stay around the campfire. You see, in Florida, it's hot, so we don't have campfires really. But if you go to a cold place and it's cold and you're camping, I've never been camping before, but if you were to go camping, you're around the campfire. It keeps you warm. But what happens as you get farther away from the fire? You start to get cold. You start to get self-doubt. Your belief starts to drop. You start to question yourself. You start to question the people around you. Drop the number 2 if you know what I'm saying. I've left the campfire before. My mentor told me to become independent. So I said, okay, screw everything they taught me. I'm going to go make my own system. I'm going to go do this. And that's not what you should do. People don't get it. Yes, the people that make the most money is the man or the woman with the marker in the front of the room. It's the man or the woman that's willing to do the presentations, to do the events, that's willing to take control. But it doesn't mean Ben or Nate or Allie or Dylan or Jeff, you should just go create a 33-step system, not talk to Christian anymore. No, that's a bad idea. That is a very bad idea. Stay around the campfire. You see, the next campfire event, company-wide, is SOAR. Are you going to be there? How many people are going to be on your team? Those are the only 2 questions I'll ask you. Are you committed to being there? I think the answer is yes. You're on tonight's call. How many people are you bringing with you to that event? So number 1, energy. What does the campfire have everything to do with energy? It has everything to do with it because you have to protect your energy And you have to understand that everything that you're doing is giving off energy. So that's why I don't spend time with negative people. Even if they're on my team, I don't care. You have to protect your energy. Number two, exposures. Alrighty, Instagram Live. See you later. That's where we don't share these secrets. All right. Number two, exposures. My mentor said, Mike, you have to go from exposure to exposure to exposure. Fortune's in the follow-up. All these things you guys know and you've heard. But let's talk about how to leverage exposures. Okay. So here's what I do is I have two lists. I have a prospect list and my follow-up list is in my phone. Well, Mike, I'm going to put my list in my phone. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I would have your list on paper. Your list needs to be on paper. My follow-up list, it's in my phone. You know why? Because when I'm driving, I'm looking at the road, of course. I got AirPods for a reason, but my follow-up list is in my notes. And I'm calling these people with their number in my notes. And I'm following up with them while I'm driving. I'm listening to Jim Rohn, PD, or I'm calling my follow-up list. But here's what I do with exposures is I go from exposure to exposure. Every single day for the past 13 months, I've showed the products. I've showed a tool, a video to 1 to 3 people every day. There's no secret to going chairman. It's doing what other people won't do. 150 people have done what most people won't do. Tonight, are you willing to do what most people are not willing to do? Every single day, on my birthday, on Christmas, it doesn't matter. Every day, 1 to 3 people got exposed to IML through me. Personally, not in my network. You have 5, 10 people do this, you're going to rank advance. It's inevitable. You're going to rank advance. So I teach go from exposure to exposure to exposure to enrollment until they get started, until they say yes. Now, does that mean you call them every night? No. Does that mean you call them and FaceTime them 5 times a day? No. The second that they think you need them, they're out. They're gone. They're going to ignore you. But the second that they know that you can help them and they believe that, even if they don't have the money, they'll still keep going from exposure to exposure to exposure. Understand that. And you know what happens? I love teaching this. This is fun. This is where it gets fun. We're recording this. We might have to block this part out. Can't put this on YouTube. So here's the secret. Here's the secret. I'll share it with you guys. You guys might have done this before. All you need. Why is this red? Looks too aggressive. Hold on. All you need is 1 customer in the holding tank. Everybody here is building the business, right? Drop the number 2 if you're building the business. If you're going chairman. All right, this ain't a customer training. I'm sorry. We can open up some charts. Chairmans do trade. I'll tell you that. All right. All you need is 1 customer in the holding tank. And the game begins. Here's what I do. If I just enrolled Ben Dixon, I wish I enrolled Ben Dixon, but I didn't. If I enrolled Ben Dixon, here's what happens. I call my follow-up list and I say, hey, what's up, Christian? What's up, Nate? What's up, Nate? What's up, Allie? My follow-up list, not my prospects, my follow-up list. Hey, Johnny, I heard, you said I knew last week you told me, you were thinking about it still. You had some questions. You have any other questions? No? Perfect. Are you ready to get started? I'm not really sure. Well, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I just enrolled my friend Ben Dixon in New Jersey. This is a guy, I edify my prospect. I edify the guy that I enrolled in the holding tank. Hey, he's coming in. He's ready to learn how to trade. He's got a network. I don't know if he's going to really build, but if he does, he's somebody you want on your team. If you get, these are the words, if you get started today, I will put Ben in your organization. Does that sound good? Sounds great, Mike. Oh, you still want to think about it? Okay, no worries. Next. But that will work. You'll call, and eventually it will add up, and they'll say yes. And then here's what you do. Now you leverage the 2. Now you got the guy, Jeffrey, whatever I called him, Johnny, and now you have Ben in your holding tank. And now you call the next person on the list. Hey, if you get started today, not tomorrow, it's today, I'll put these 2 people in your team. and you do this every single time. Guys, in January, I'll show you my back. I'll show it to you. I put in 19 customers in January. That effort from January helped me hit chairman in March, 3 days before convention. It was all the work I did in January, right? The law of 90 days, John Maxwell teaches. If you're building an organization, you got to read this book. Developing the leaders within you, developing the leaders around you. It talks about the law of 90 days. All the work you do today. You want to know the tool rules that, or not, yeah, the tool rules that I kind of live by? These two right here. Let's what you do today, you reap the results 90 days from now. Law of 90 days. We've heard this before. Here's the second one. Always. Everybody comment in the chat box, always, before I tell you the sentence. Always, always, always. Not some days, not when I feel like it. Always do more than you're paid for. Here's the good news. And eventually, you will be paid for more than you do. If you work because your back office says P150, you'll stay there. If you work because your back office says customer and you want to go chairman, but you're letting the little 6 letters or 7 letters customer hold you back, guys, if you want to go platinum 2000 and you're a P150, you have to start acting and doing what a P2000 is doing. You have to work like that rank. You know, there's no reason why a millionaire in IML is working harder than you. It blows my mind. How does a 6-figure earner work harder than a P150? They're in 2 different situations. How? Here's 2 things you can always remember. These 2 things have gotten me through the good times and the bad times, especially the bad times. What I do today, what I do today, what I do today. If I want to go chairman 25, it's what I do today. It's what I do today. It's what I do today. And I always do more than I'm paid for. It doesn't matter how much money you make now. It's where you're going to be at in 90 days. That gets me excited because I don't care what my back office says. I don't care what my volume says. That's not who I am. I am who I say I am. If you say you're a platinum 150, you're right. If you say you're a platinum 2000, you're right. I tell myself where I'm already at, where I'm going to be, pretending that I'm already there today because I understand these 2 rules. So after you leverage 1, you leverage 2, and you just keep doing that. You know, exposure to exposure to exposure. But it's important that you have, I think I've heard Christian say this on calls, what is it called? A filled pipeline. You know, make sure the pipeline is filled with new people coming in. Mike, I don't have anybody to talk to. That's a lie. That's a lie. There's people everywhere. You're just not talking to them. This is not that hard. You don't got to sell this. You don't got to sell anything, but you got to speak to people and you got to find out what they want and what they need. I've been to 20 countries. People have dreams, goals, fears, just like you do. Different languages, different backgrounds, different, religion. It doesn't matter. They have dreams, they have goals, and they have fears, just like me and you. People are looking for this. You have to go be the one to show it to them, and you have to have a filled pipeline. Meaning the second, think about this. Think about the last person on the bottom of your legs. Who were the people on the bottom, or the newest customers on that leg? You know why legs of business die out? You know why this happens? And then nobody ever comes here? Because this person does not have a running partner. This person does not have somebody that can hold them accountable that's in their team. Legs of businesses die when the last person doesn't have somebody to hold accountable. So how do you avoid that happening? Teach the exposure process. I think Christian did a training on it a couple weeks ago. The exposure process, the conversations and that's important. Go back and watch that video. Christian, you recorded that? Okay, he'll send that again. That's key. And the last E I'll talk about as we wrap up tonight's call, I want to respect your guys' time, is events. Now, I love building online. Go on my Instagram. I'm attracting people. I'm doing all that stuff online. But this is a relationship business. If you just try to if you live across the street from me and you tell me we're going to get on a Zoom call, I'm going to be like, okay, does this person just not, what's up with this person? Relationships are everything. That's why me and Christian had the ability to work together now. It's relationships. When we didn't benefit each other, we were still friends. When we were in different companies, still friends. Just because somebody on your team they wants to go sell juice, let them do it, whatever. If they can walk away from you, let them walk. Don't try to convince them. Somebody wants to go be a 6-figure real estate agent. They think that's easier. Let them do it. They'll come back if you keep the relationship. So why am I an advocate of events? Because I believe you can build online, but offline is where there's authenticity. Offline is where people see that you're a real person, that you actually bleed if you get cut, and that you're not 6 feet tall, right? I go to events, they're like, Mike, I thought you were a lot taller. Some of you guys will find that out as we go to SOAR convention. Okay, I'm not like 3 feet, but you know what I'm saying. So events. So here's what I do. So everything is built backwards in events. It's actually really funny. Everything's built backwards to the next convention. So we know our next convention, it's SOAR. Now, today we're in July. So I built everything backwards comes to events. I say, okay, what's my goal for SOAR? Rank, people I'm going to have at SOAR, all those goals. And I go backwards. So for example, this is just in South Florida, but you can take an example. And we have Super Saturday on the 21st. Super Saturday. So what's the next monthly event you guys are promoting to? Is that on calendar, Jewkes? Is there a next big event everybody's promoting to in this week? You're muted. We can talk. I can't. I don't understand what you're saying, dude. Oh, I got to unmute you.
You're the host. Yeah, so it depends on we have weekly events over here in Arizona, and then weekly events also going on in Atlanta and other areas. So we got a lot of weekly event structures going on right now, and then SOAR for everyone else in the surrounding areas.
Awesome. So you have the structure. You guys, okay, perfect. So Super Saturdays, let's just say, let's go to smaller time frame here. It's like the 1 hour chart. All right. So how does the event structure work? It's 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s, coffee shop meetings, Zoom calls. That builds to home meetings, 5 people, 10 people, which builds to the weekly meetings. Weekly meetings are everything. If you have a weekly meeting in your market, that's a day or that 2 hour time frame, you got to cancel everything. You got to get there. Some markets have monthly events. If you're in an area where there's no events, guess what? Create them, and you're going to become very, 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 very good at just being recorded. Can't say wealthy. You guys are going to have success. So if you don't have home meetings in your city, create them. How do you create them? Look at what Jewkes is doing in Arizona. Copy that, mirror that. It's working. But events you have to build on top of each other. I do events backwards. I say, okay, if I'm going to have 500 people, I'm going to have 1,000 people at SOAR, how many people on my team are doing, home meetings a week? How many people on my team are doing 1-on-1s a week? A great question to ask yourself every day is if my team did what I did today, would my business grow or die? Nothing stays the same. If my team did what I did today, I have it next to my bed. If my team did what I did today, so if you expose 2 people, imagine everybody on your team did that. If you run at 100%, your team will run at 80%. Speed of leader, speed of the team, right? All these corny cliche things, but it's all true. It's all true. People don't get it. If you take a break, what do you think your team's going to do? The same thing. Every Thursday and Tuesday, 7:30. Okay, so if you're in Arizona, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30. You have 2 events to plug into. Imagine tomorrow, 7:30, perfect example. You show up, 5 people, 5 new guests. Follow-up list, invite them. All you need is 1 in the holding tank. You have 7 days to place them, and then the game begins. And then you can leverage and help. And what I do personally, when I bring somebody in, I want to help them knock out their 4. Now, here's the trick with this. When you're talking to your friends, don't tell them you're going to build their business. Don't tell them that you're going to place people under them. If you leverage and you do this, do it if you say it. But don't call Jamal or Ben and say, hey, Ben, bro, I'm going to take care of one of your legs. No, don't do that, because then Ben expects. And the second somebody expects something from you, right, if you give them their hand, they're going to take your arm. Well, Christian, can you just build two of my legs? I've had people call me, Christian, or the person, can you just put people on all my legs and just help me do it? Come on. I'm working hard here. They don't get the point. Help your people, but don't do it for your people. You know, if any of you call me, if anybody calls me, if they're on my team or they're not on my team, I help them. But I explain to them that nobody's going to do this for you. I've had to go through times where my upline quit, where my uplines left. You know, I had to go through times where my upline, you know, was not the best person. I've had great uplines in past companies. But be the upline that you want your team to model. Your team will always do what you do, not what you say. So in closing this call, you know, it's Monday. It's a brand new week. It's a trading week. You know, you have everything you need. You know, one thing that Jeff Roberti told me, the guy he's made $120 million in the industry. He told me in Dallas, outside the hotel, away from everybody, we were talking. I said, you know, what's that one thing? He said, you don't need that one thing. He said, I hate when people ask me that. He's very direct. Good guy, though. And he said, you're already good enough. Some of you might be brand new. You're already good enough. You know, you've been planted here for a reason. But now you have to take your water out. You have to take some time out of your day to master this skill. Everything you want is possible. Everything you want is possible because of iMarkets Live, because of the platform you guys have. So understand you're working with the right people. You know, I'm going to forget some people, but, you know, Ben and Christian and Brittany, you know, Christian and Brittany and now Ben, these guys are like family to me. You know, we talk business stuff outside of business. You're working with the right people. So knowing that, it allows you, and you're in the right company, it allows you and allows me to go to sleep at night saying, okay, I can go build something here for my future family. You know what? You know, one of the biggest deciding factors is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it back to Christian. One of the biggest things that got to me when I met Chris and Isis before I joined IML about 14 months ago, we were at the beach, and me and Isis, we were actually in the ocean. They were in South Florida. And I asked her, I said, what's the vision for IML, right? First question I asked her. And she goes, we were in Amway for like 8 or 10 years. I can't remember. We never made any money, but we loved going to events. We loved the culture. And she said, I didn't think she was going to say this. I had goosebumps. I still get them. She said, we're going to build something here. It's maybe a legacy company. I've heard that before. And then she said this. I've never heard an owner say this. She said, Michael, if somebody were to pass away, their ID number, we're going to allow it to be transferred to their children. And I was like, I never heard an owner really tell me that personally. Like, you know, in Amway and, you know, those companies, I know third generation people in that company, meaning their grandpa started and they have their account now and they earn that income because their grandpa or grandmother is not alive anymore. And she said that to me. Forget like trying to convince me to do this. She told me that. And I was like, damn, that's powerful. I mean, that's powerful because some companies you can't do that. If something happens to you, all right, we'll take the money. That's literally how it is. So understand everything you have, you need, protect your energy, focus on the number of exposures you're doing and the events that you're doing. And at the end of the day, we get paid for direct proportion to the amount of value that we provide to the market. So increase your value, your income will go up. I'll pass it over back to my brother. Going chairman very soon. Can't wait. Chairman jacket in South Florida, Mr. Christian Jewkes.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, homie. And, man, I'm just excited. I'm truly excited to have the opportunity. It's cool, man, to be able to work with you. And, guys, it's just super cool for me. I mean, Mike and I have seen a lot. We've been through a lot in this industry. So if you guys do not yet have a relationship with Mike Sotero, reach out on Facebook, reach out on Instagram. Mike is in our 1% Movement Facebook page. So go on that Facebook page. You can find him if you go under people in there. Here's the thing about Mike. Mike's a workhorse. He doesn't BS. He doesn't hop on here and say, hey, I work hard. Hey, I do calls. Hey, I'll hop on a Monday night call. You need a 3-way phone call, Mike's the guy to hit up. You need a training, Mike's like, he's a workhorse. This guy actually is in it to win it and is 100% down to work for you guys. So if you don't yet have that relationship, go out, make sure you build it, send him a message. He's beyond active. This is his full-time only thing. This is what he does. And I know he's going Chairman 25 very soon. And then 50 will be on deck. So guys, some closing thoughts that I just have for you guys is understand what you get paid for, right? If you're a lawyer, you get paid on the amount of time, right, that you are getting paid legally. So you're paid for the amount of time you're in the courtroom or working on a court case. If you're a doctor, depending on what it is, you're paid for the amount of hours you're in the hospital, right? If you're a construction worker, it's the amount of hours that you're building. If you're in iMarkets Live, what do you get paid for? Number one, bringing new customers into iMarkets Live personally. That's what you get paid for. You get paid to bring new customers into iMarkets Live personally. That's number one. Number two, you get paid for group work. That means that you are providing value to a customer within your organization that allows another customer to decide that this is what they want to do. And they decide to get started. Whether it's a three-way phone call, Zoom call, a one-on-one or two-on-one, Starbucks, home presentation, whatever it may be. So number one, personally bringing new customers into the business. Number two, group enrolling new customers into the business. And number three, trading through all of our amazing products and services. Those are the three ways that you can earn wealth, that you can earn income, that you can see a positive ROI, that you should be spending your time. So the question, the magical question you have to ask yourself is, am I being active or am I being productive? Is what I did today, yesterday, the day before that, right after this call, tomorrow when I wake up, is it directly impacting one of those three things? Directly, not indirectly, not like I read a book, so 3 years from now I can speak on stage and it sounds good. That's indirectly. Talking about directly, like this physical call will directly impact one of those three areas. If the answer is yes, do more of it. If the answer is no, stop doing it. Honestly, I would just stop doing it, because here's the thing. You have the ability to compress time. With this compensation plan, with the momentum in this business, with this social shift right now that's going on in cryptocurrency, Forex, investing, social media marketing, globalization, through the technology shifts we're experiencing right now, we have the ability to take advantage of one of the most powerful platforms in the world. In normal average, most of us are younger people have the ability to take advantage of that on such a massive scale. So just ask yourself, shift your awareness to one of those three things. And constantly throughout your day, this is something that I learned and it has helped me. And it kind of gets weird. Like Brittany freaks out. Like sometimes I don't want to say I'm snappy, but I'm sometimes like direct. Like I'm kind of to the point sometimes. And the reason why is I'll just be sitting there and be like, does this have anything to do with these three things? No. And I was like, drop it and just go do something else. And she'll be like, what? Like you were just like eating dinner, like you're out. Like what's happening here? Like you were just driving the car and now you're pulled over, like calling somebody. What's the deal? And I just do that. And maybe, that's not fun to be around. Or maybe you freaking want to make a lot of money and we want to rock this thing together and we want to trade and we want to help people and we want to change the world. But I'm telling you, ask yourself constantly, like 5 times an hour, 10 times an hour, 100 times an hour if you have to, is what I'm doing right now, directly bringing new customers into iMarkets Live, group enrolling, helping someone within my organization bring a new customer into iMarkets Live. Or number 3, learning how to trade. That can be through IML TV, the Academy, or studying, modeling, immersing yourself on those recordings and getting educated within that. So I'm excited. I've been trading a lot the last couple of weeks as well too. So just know that. Yes, I have massive goals and dreams of helping people go chairman. Mike said, soon to be chairman. When that happens, that happens. I'm not really too concerned about that. I didn't do iMarkets Live for the income. Do I like the income? Of course. But that's not my focus. My focus is directly impacting people. And whether that's on the trading side, the building side, the growth side, the community side, the purpose side, whatever that is for you, I'm just excited to have you on here tonight. And I would recommend in this link, in this chat, you'll see the pipeline training. If you've not yet checked out that pipeline training on my YouTube, check that out. That will give you absolute clarity of how you can take advantage of 2 of those 3 ways that you can be making more money. So let's go be productive. Let's not be active. Let's have a kick-ass rest for Monday. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Mike, thank you again. And like Mike just dropped his Instagram link, so hit Mike up, connect with him, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.